I spent $576,000 in the last 2 months on Meta, and we were able to achieve a 2.9x ROAS on this spend. Our actual overall ROAS, when we calculate total revenue versus total marketing costs, is just over 3.5x, which is pretty strong for this brand considering they are in a very saturated niche. They're selling mostly in the US and some parts of Europe. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through what is working best for this ad account. And I'm also going to show you the best ad formats that are driving the most ROAS. So to start with, I want to give you guys some context. And this brand has been around for a few years. We didn't just come into this company and suddenly get these results. It took time. We've had to do a lot of testing, but you can still apply a lot of what I'm about to show you across pretty much any brand in e-commerce right now, and it will definitely work for you. So the best performing top of funnel campaign by ROAS is this one right here. We did a 4x ROAS with 618 purchases, and we aren't using Advantage Plus here. So we have lots of different ad sets that go after different interest combinations. We have on average 3 to 5 interests, and then we have 5 ads assigned to each ad set. Some of these ad sets are also broken down by country. So we are going after some of the top performing countries in Europe, and we assign that to each ad set. And overall, the ROAS that we got with that type of strategy was 4x with 618 purchases. Now, the campaign underneath that was also very similar, but the only difference was that we went after the US market. So again, we had ad sets with 3 to 5 different interests. We came up with different themed interests, different themed ad sets. We had on average 5 creatives per ad set, and we were going after the US and got a 3.9x ROAS. The US is slightly more saturated. It's a lot harder to get good results. And so that's why I actually segmented the US into its own campaign with its own spend. Now, when it comes to retargeting campaigns, we had a 9x ROAS up here because we did a sale and we went after a lot of abandoned carts and also our previous customers. So that is how we got a 9x ROAS. This isn't very typical for this brand, but what I can tell you is that we went after all of our customers over the last 365 days. So we imported all of our Klaviyo email audiences. We went really hard on those. And then further down, we actually did a retargeting campaign of traffic and engagement. So what I basically had set up was one ad set that goes after all of the Instagram and Facebook engagement, video views, and then I had a second ad set that goes after website traffic. And so I have 2 budgets behind each one of those ad sets, and that gives me full control over what stage of the funnel I want to push the most. And then further down, I had this campaign here, which was also retargeting, but we went after website traffic and engagement. So basically, I have 2 ad sets. One ad set is first party audiences. So anything that happens within Facebook, like Facebook engagement, Instagram engagement, profile views, video views, that's inside of one ad set. Then we have a second ad set that goes after website traffic over the last 90 days. And so by doing that, I can segment out those 2 different types of audiences, have a dedicated spend behind each. And that's how I've been able to get a good blended ROAS overall. Like I said in other videos as well, when you retarget your first party audiences, you do end up tapping into people that have been to your website. So that is sometimes how you can get a better ROAS, because first party audiences can be pushed much harder because there's more people inside of them. Now, throughout this 2-month period, I ran a lot of campaigns here, as you can see. And what I can tell you is that Advantage Plus did start to work well for us at the very start of the period, but then it quickly fluctuated and I actually reduced budget quite aggressively. So I'd say around 25% of the budget for this brand right now is going to Advantage Plus. Everything else is going to the old way of running ads on Facebook. And so all of these different campaigns here are segmented either by funnel stage, by demographic, like different countries. We also have campaigns set up for high AOV products, low AOV products. That is typically how I am structuring an ad account with these types of spends right now. And that's also how I'm able to maximize the ROAS that the client gets. Now, when I get to the ad level, we ran DPA ads, we ran static ads, video ads, carousels, instant experience. And I'm going to go through each one and what the ROAS was for each one of those formats. So starting with DPA, we got 2.9x ROAS over this 2-month period. DPAs have done very well for this brand, mostly because of the fact that when you have loads of SKUs, Facebook will pull out which product is most likely to convert for the user. There's a dynamic customer experience. And obviously, if you're doing retargeting campaigns and use DPAs, you're going to show the products that that customer went to and actually looked at on your product website. Now, the next type of ad we ran are videos, and we got a 2.7x ROAS for videos overall. I'd say that some videos did better than others. Video in general for this brand is good for top of funnel because they have lots of models and influencers talking about the product. We have a lot of UGC content. So that type of ad creative is really good for grabbing the attention of the customer, sending them to the website, and then we usually retarget them with a static ad. Now, next up are the static ads, and interestingly, we did a 2.7x ROAS, so not that much different to video ads. But what I will say is that as I go through the static ads that we ran, some of the ads where we were retargeting, the ROAS mostly came from static. So for this brand and for a lot of my other clients, static is very good when you have an offer or you have a message that you just want to throw out there and allow the consumer to get it straight away rather than them having to watch a video and figure out what this video is about. So static can be very good for that purpose, and going forward, I'll have an equal budget between static and video. I won't really be going harder on video or static. I'll just keep them the same because at the moment they are getting very similar ROAS. The next type of ad I ran was instant experience, and you can see here the overall ROAS was 2.6x across all of the instant experience ads we ran. I'm not sure that we will be doing much more with instant experience. It does work and it does drive clicks, but we're finding that DPAs, for example, are killing it way more than instant experience. And so going forward, I will likely be cutting down my budget on instant experience and doubling down more on DPA ads. The final type of ad creative I ran was influencer ads. These were a combination of video and static. And what you can see here is that we had a 3.1x ROAS. So influencer ads were pretty much the top performing ad creative for this brand. When we have people that are talking about the brand, we're using UGC content, we are getting a solid ROAS overall. And so we are going to continue to double down on UGC content, on influencer content. We've partnered with a couple of creators who are well known in the niche that this brand is in. And we're just going to keep running that creative as ads. One big learning with this as well is that ads that do not look like ads perform really well. So when you look at the ROAS here, the ones that have got really strong ROAS are actually just organic posts that were on TikTok that we've basically downloaded, reformatted, and have run as an ad. It doesn't look like an ad. And when you run that type of ad on Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, Instagram Stories, you find that it's a really authentic piece of content. People resonate with it, and it just leads to a really good conversion rate. Now, two more things to note here is that lookalikes do not work for this brand. We had custom audiences with 10,000 plus people in there. We tried 5% lookalikes. We just didn't get a good enough ROAS versus when we did interest campaigns. And then the second thing was that advantage shopping campaigns were tested for this brand, but we didn't find a good enough ROAS compared to some of the other campaigns we were running. And so I've completely killed advantage shopping campaigns for now. Maybe in the future I'll retry them, but in the short term, I don't see them being that much of a good performer. So that's a full breakdown of how I spent $576K for this brand in the last 2 months. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'm also giving away 5 free strategy sessions right now. If you want to claim that, go to the link in my bio, fill out the form, and I'll arrange a free strategy session and also a free audit on your ad account.